Kandasi Town, Kajiado County, lies a facility of hope for this vulnerable group of people living with intellectual disability. Orion Community Training Center stands out. Orion Community Center was founded in 2005 in Kenya by the Catholic Congregation of Sons of Divine Providence to promote life and integrate people with intellectual disability. Early morning, every morning, parents of these children drop them at designated areas within Kandasi Town. They are then picked by caregivers to go around the town on a bus. They are again dropped back in the afternoon every working day, Monday through to Friday. For many with this condition, the assistance by Orion has brought a sigh of relief and encouragement. Most parents here are poor and cannot afford to pay for therapy or take these children to the 48 residential homes around the country. At Orion Community, this center specializes in children and youth with conditions including cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, and the mentally challenged, most of whom come from poor family backgrounds. Among the activities carried out at Orion Community Center are education, rehabilitation, both physical and occupational therapy.
Now basically what we do here, when we bring our children here, we normally identify the child, the weakness of the child, and that is the place where we start from. Like now, the girl that I'm handling here, she's called Becky. She's 5 years old. Now the problem she has cerebral palsy as a condition, which has affected her to delay in all her milestones.
Sensor stimulation room.
We do stimulation of the available senses for concentration and attention, especially in class. We have different elements which helps them to have concentration, like the music. We also have the mat whereby they can touch to feel the floor. Also different elements like a block building.
And vocational training.
This part that we are in forms the third pillar of our institution, which is vocational training. And ideally what happens here is that once our students achieve the age of 16, we take them through a 2-year period of training. And in the training, basically, we teach them a specific vocational set in farming, how to identify basic farming tools, plants, diseases, and all these basic processes.
Basic education skills and knowledge are important and crucial. They enable the children with intellectual disability to integrate and relate well amongst themselves and society. But teaching these children is not a walk in the park. It is an uphill task that requires a person with a calling and ready to serve the children.
Shelly, let's open your book. Tunakala nini? Inaitwaje? Kikombe. Inaitwa nini? Kikombe. Inaitwaje? Everyone sit down, please.
Children with autism or cerebral palsy have poor concentration and low understanding, requiring focused attention as interruptions from one side and cries from another to running battles. Caring for children with intellectual disability is a calling. Meet Isaac Ejakaiti, 20-year-old. He was abandoned by his mother but raised by his father and later by his stepmother.
Si kila mtu anaweza lea mtu anakaa hivi kama mama wa kambo. Nilipompata hata hakuwa hivi, hata sasa ako mzuri.
Ejakaiti travels daily 30 kilometers by motorbike to the designated pickup area. His has been a journey of hope, faith, and deep admiration. Today, Ejakaiti and his parents have surmounted the greatest challenge and now helps his father in his vocation. He is very energetic and when guided, performs his duty with little supervision. At school, Ejakaiti is ever helpful, very ready to perform his tasks. As for 11-year-old Mark, he suffered hydrocephalus and autism, which affected his brain, slowing his thinking, but is optimistic and confident, and he even corrects his peers. He loves singing.
Oh, children, why don't you answer? Open your heart and let him in.
His favorite meal is
bread with tea and avocado. Bread with tea and avocado.
He loves to be applauded when he performs his tasks.
Good boy. Hey, let us clap for Mark. Good.
WHO puts the population of those with intellectual disability at 15% of the total population in developing countries such as Kenya. Of these 3.6 million Kenyans with developmental disabilities, only 1% have access to healthcare and rehabilitation services. 23,000 students between the ages of 10 to 30 have access to education, while 1,200 schools have special facilities for persons living with developmental disabilities in the country. The 48 residential homes and private schools provide care for 438 people. According to statistics, women are more vulnerable to intellectual disability than men in developing countries. The World Bank estimates that 20% of the world's poorest people are disabled, while most are disadvantaged. Women with disabilities bear the biggest brunt as society excludes them on account of their disability. According to UNESCO, 90% of children with disabilities in developing countries do not attend school. A 1998 UNDP study sets a global literacy rate for adults with disabilities at 3% overall and 1% for women with disabilities. The International Labour Organization, ILO, estimates that 386 million of the world's working-age people are disabled. 80% of the disabled are unemployed in developing countries. This condition is a challenge. It makes most people vulnerable to discrimination and stigmatization from society, hence limiting their chances of accessing better health services, schools, and employment opportunities. All what Orion Center and the beneficiaries need is support.
The farm in itself is not enough to fully sustain the project, and here we are. I am tasked with, together with the director, to look for funding, international funding and local funding, and the response is good, especially from the international donors, because they believe in the job that we do, and they can see the results that we're able to get from these projects.
The facilities need expansion to cater for more children who are out there and who need care.
I know who God says I am, where He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am.